very special guest indeed is the Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS. Now the figures, which I'll tell you in a little bit, are fantastic, but more than its speed, its agility, how quickly it gets to where you want to go, and how it grabs the road is fantastic. There's a massive rear wing. The spoiler over here, it's a carbon fiber spoiler that brings so much downforce. It has upgraded dampers, springs, hollowed out anti-roll bars. It is just a feat of engineering. It is a fantastic car. And what I've done today is brought it to one of my favorite driving roads in the UAE, Jebel Chase. And we're going to jump in and we're going to have a little drive around here. And then, of course, we're going to look at the inside, the outside, around it, and all the details. Now, the Cayman 718 GT4 RS might seem like a rather uncomfortable ride right in the beginning, but once you get the feel of the car, it is actually quite a joy to drive. The seats are, and these bucket seats are wonderful, but they might not be the most comfortable to drive for hours and hours, but you do get used to it because all of that kind of, race car-y stuff doesn't really matter because you're really buying this car for the pure driving pleasure which it gives through thoroughly. Now the Cayman 718 GT4 RS has a 4-liter flat-six engine that produces 493 brake horsepower and around 444 Newton meters of torque. It'll take you up to 100 kilometers an hour in a Porsche's classic conservative 3.2 seconds, and I feel it's quicker, and it will go all the way up to 350 kilometers an hour. Now, in essence, this is a road car, but in reality, it's actually a track car built for the road. Now, there are a couple of things about this. The engine, which sits in the middle, comes from a GT3. The main difference between the GT3 and this one here, the main overarching difference, let's say, they have the same engine. The 911 GT3's engine sits all the way to the back. This is a mid-engine car. And curiously, Porsche have only managed to extract 493 brake from this one, whereas in GT3's exact engine is a 502 brake. Now, Porsche say that's because of the way the engine sits, but everybody has their own theory about it. Maybe they just didn't want to challenge the mighty 911 range. Anyhow, let's have a little look around the car because it is quite simply a fantastic car. And starting with the front. Now, one of the first things you notice in the Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS is that it is quite low to the ground. It's actually 10 millimeters lower than the RS, well, I beg your pardon, the GT4 version, and about 30 less than the standard Cayman. Also, another thing you see is an abundance of air vents. Air vent here, a whopping massive front splitter here, unique to this car. Air vents here, some more air vents here, and air vents are everywhere because, of course, downforce is a very important thing when it comes to this rack-focused road car. Also, if you can kind of hone in on this one here, this is a Porsche badge, but it is not your regular Porsche badge. It is a mere sticker, because Porsche say every little bit counts, and that is, I don't know, probably about 250 grams that they saved off that. Now let me show you the boot space the 718 Cayman GT4 RS packs. And of course you got this badge over here. That is not a real badge. It's a sticker. Then you have the boots here. Now the engine here, as discussed, well, let's open that a little bit more, is in the middle. So effectively the engine stops here and you get extra boot space here, which is rather nice. And underneath here, must have something, but it is rather stiff. So you got your water and your oil here, and the mighty GT4 RS engine right underneath, and from here you can actually see the exposed carbon fiber seats, the backs of the seats, which looks wonderful. Now, let's get inside the 718 Cayman GT4 RS, and immediately you've got this beautiful classic Porsche steering wheel with suede or Alcantara, one or the other, whatever it is wonderful. The great Porsche emblem right there. You've got the flappy paddles here, and then your kind of usual controls around the back. Now you get two massive analog screens. The center one is the RPM, and then to the left is the kilometer gauge that goes all the way up to 330. Of course, the car's top speed, I believe, is 316. And over here you have the digital gauge for all sorts of other things. In the middle, the Porsche is no frills as usual. I mean, this rather small screen running a not so fast or exciting Porsche interface. However, you don't really care, you know, when you're buying this car. It's all about the performance and the handling. This is just, you know, it's just there really. And then you've got the different set of controls here: navigation, map, media, phone, source, car, home, that kind of thing. Very nice. The AC controls are also here analog, which is something I love. And then here, perhaps the more important, is your middle. So you get the PDK Sport, makes the gear shifts slightly quicker. ESC off, ESC-TC off, start, stop, raising the front end of the car. And then you've got this button that opens up the valves to give you better exhaust noise. Then of course this is beautiful. It's reminiscent of the old gear levers. Of course it is an automatic, and the GT4 RS only comes in an auto, but they've done it really nicely there. It looks beautiful. Then over here you've got the famous chronograph, part of Porsche history, I'd like to say. Plenty of carbon fiber doors are opened like this, which is quite good. They say they've done it in order to save weight rather. But then you've got electrical seats here, of course carbon fiber exposed everywhere. Got carbon fiber here, and something that is essential in a Porsche, and I'm not joking, you've got two cup holders here, which is a great idea. Turn it around a little bit. There isn't much space here. The engine is right there, and you've got those pipes are literally intake, and there is one on my side as well. That's where the air intake comes in from. I beg your pardon. It's these ones here. Come on. Swiss here, apologies. These ones here that come there right next to your ear, and then you've got the nice RS badging here. Again, exposed carbon fiber over here. So let's have a little listen to that symphony, shall we? Of course, limited to 4,000 when you're stationary. And that is the interior of the Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS. Another option, should you choose to accept, is the Weissach pack. Now, the Weissach pack, what it does is it's more of a cosmetic option rather than performance related. Now, you have this swan neck spoiler here, and you've got the bonnet in the front and little bits around the car that are of course already carbon fiber, but this bit here and the bit in the front and certain bits on the sides will be exposed carbon fiber. Right now they're just painted, but they'll be exposed. Of course, it does make the car look rather nice if you like that two-tone vibe. However, it doesn't give you any performance-related enhancement, any advantage over a 9 Weissach pack car. But should you want it, you can get it, and it costs around $15,000 to $17,000 depending on where you're ordering the Weissach pack. And the Weissach pack will also give you titanium exhaust tips right over here. I believe on the standard option they should be aluminum or possibly steel, don't mark my words. However, with the Weissach pack you get titanium exhaust tips. Another rather important feature to see is this massive rear spoiler made out of carbon fiber. Of course, it is called a swan neck rear spoiler, and it provides a huge amount of downforce, much needed downforce for the GT4 RS. Now, Porsche say the GT4 RS will get to 100 in just 3.2 seconds. Now, I'm going to launch it and find out. Wow! What a launch! What a launch! The way it just switched those gears was just unbelievable. You can already hear the induction because there's actually an air intake right next to your left ear here. I guess if you're in the UK, it'll be next to your right ear. But we're gonna put it into manual. And I'm not even in PDK Sport. Just listen to that symphony. Listen to that downshift. It is just a wonderful car. I've got the AC on and I'm already sweating. How exciting this car is. It's just fantastic. It is so planted to the floor. It is such a pleasure to drive. And when you get a bit of a flat surface, you can just take it to 9,000 RPM. And without breaking the speed limit, of course, bring it right back down again. This is just fantabulous. That's first gear right there. What a magnificent drive. You can get into the corner so tight, yet it feels so effortless to drive this feat of engineering.